Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is Dee, and today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck is the Seven of Vessels in Mourning. And what really caught my attention on this card was not only the Seven of Vessels, which I normally look at because it reminds me of the Eight of Stones with the skill, but the aspect of just the skull. The skull's looking at you. Okay, yesterday's card, that Knight of Bows, he's looking at you, or it's looking at you, right? So we've had a lot of forward movement in the last couple days with that Knight of Bows coming up, that action and that fire energy. Just looking at you, it's telling me we're in the present. Okay, this card here is telling me we're in the present. Okay, so how does this card resonate with you, right? This Seven of Vessels in Mourning. Now, mourning could be, the death of something, but the message that I was getting today really wasn't about a death, okay? Relevancy, it could be, all right, but the message that I continue to get was just let it go. Whatever it was that was out there. I mean, when I think about the seven of bows, it's about clearance. And, this is about letting your emotions, letting those emotions go, all right? Letting that, whatever that opportunity is that's really ticking you off, all right? Just let it go, because it's wasteful energy, okay? And just like these cups aren't filled, and most of the vessels' cups are filled, all right? With these being unfilled, it's just, you know what? To me, there's no sense crying over spilt milk, all right? Because your crying is not going to help fill these bowls up anymore. So just let it go. Let it go and look at it and just say, you know what? Thanks for that opportunity of learning and gaining wisdom and knowledge with whatever that was going on. Okay. Yesterday, we talked about that opportunity, and what are you seizing, as well as where do you need to take things slower. Okay, what are the details you need to look at with that Knight of Bows and that Fox? All right, when you can step back and look at the details of what somebody's trying to show you in a let's say in a training situation, right? And you understand where they're coming from, you can go ahead and do that job more efficiently by following the process that they follow. But if they don't follow a process, and there's no there's no process to follow, okay, let's say in creating paperwork or something like that, because I just know how to do it. How can you train somebody or teach somebody how to do that job? Well, to me, there's a couple avenues that you can do that. Let them do it hands-on. That way, when something happens, they've got the experience of doing it because they've done it live. Or B, that person just really doesn't care if you learn it or not. And more often than not, people like their job security. Okay? And, if you're sitting there going, I'm not being trained the right way, I don't understand how to do this because they're not showing you, you can ask all the questions till you're blue in the face. You can be looking at the details, what that Knight of Bows, that Fox is saying, and just say, you know what? I need to focus on this. But if they're not willing to teach you, if they say, hey, go do something else, I look at it and I say, you know what? I just let it go. Okay, this is what you want me to do. That's what I'm going to do. If you want me to sweep the floor, I'll go sweep the floor. So, it's one of those situations where you just don't hold on to that emotion. You don't hold on to that aggravation or that frustration because that just drags you down, right? And, at the same time, if you move on and you need to take a test in that area or something like that and it doesn't work well, guess what? You're going to be in that, that falls back to the man, to the person training you. You need to take this person and show them exactly what to do and make sure they know how to do it. And that's where a lot of organizations fail on their people. You've got people that are there, they know their jobs, all right? But some people aren't good teachers. Some people aren't good trainers, right? And you just have to make peace with that and just say, you know what? That's on them, it ain't on me. I'm asking the right questions. I'm doing what I need to do, right? And, you look at that and you say, you know what? My cups aren't being filled here. But you can't let it tick you off and get you frustrated, because what that does is that just brings you down. So, when you can look through that and just say, you know what? I'm just letting it go. Old relationships, don't hold on to them. Let them go. Oh, well, so-and-so did this to me. Oh, so-and-so did that to me. Why are you still thinking about it? If that happened, 5 years ago, you've been holding 5 years of resentment, right? And, that's just bringing you down. Let it go. That's part of that mourning process. When you're going through a mourning, if somebody's passed on, you actually let that person go through the grieving process. But when we got relationships that people have hurt you in the past, and you're still holding on to that, that's low vibrational energy. Let it go. You'll feel a heck of a lot better, when you do. And then you could seize that opportunity, for a new relationship coming in, all right? Or you can strengthen the bonds with your significant other, right? So when you do that, when you can let those things go, processes, old relationships, old hurts, old wounds, old scars, whatever you want to look at, when you can let all that stuff go, it heals you. And then you could say, you know what? I'm moving forward. I'm still transitioning to that other side, right? I'm still thinking of, ways that I can, increase this project or strengthen my relationship, with that Ace of Arrows, that breath of life. When you can focus on today and look forward to the future, that just brings closure to what's happened in the past. Don't give it any thought. Let it go. Just like that Seven of Bows, the clearance. Getting rid of stuff in your life that's not serving you. Let it go. It doesn't have to be a sad thing. It just be saying, okay, what did you learn from that in a relationship? What did you learn from that relationship? Well, this is what I learned. I won't, my next relationship, this is how I'm going to react. This is how I'm going to do things. I'm going to look at building, trust and communication and things of that nature. Even in your own relationship that you have with that significant other. You can just look at it and say, you know what? I'm just going to work even harder at this. Because I love that person. And when you say that, you raise that vibration. All right? Kids and everything like that, you love them to death. But they have to grow on their own. They may come to you and ask you for advice and help and, whatever. That's great. You can give them that loving, advice. But they still have to, learn things on their own. You can share that knowledge and wisdom with them. And, but at the same time, if they don't worry about it. Just let it go. They're young adults. They'll figure it out. Just be there for them when you need to. Same thing at work. If you're in an opportunity for looking at a new job, don't sit at home and do the woe is me. All right? Let that stuff go. You're at a higher level. Go out there and, deliver groceries, or go out there and deliver, meals. At least you have some money coming in, and then continue to send out those resumes. If you're in an established job, don't let the gossip and stuff get to you. Let that frustration go. Let that anxiety go. Because it's not serving you. And then, and anything that's not serving you is not going to fill these cups up. They're all empty. So, live for the present as well as for tomorrow, the future. But anything that's happened in the past that's bringing you down, let it go. Use joy as a harbinger of hope and saying, you know what? Man, all this stuff happened yesterday. Guess what? You can't change it. But you can say, you know what? I'm coming in with a different attitude. In my relationship, I'm coming in with a different attitude with work. I'm coming in with a different attitude, you know, in how I look at spirit and universe. Because you find that peace within yourself. You understand where you're at spiritually. And when you can do that, you can celebrate. You can celebrate that life that you have. And not worry about stuff that's in the past. So that's today's card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck, the Seven of Vessels and Mourning. Hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, share it with others, give me a thumbs up. And this is D for a Spirit's Path. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. God bless. Stay safe, everybody.